very good evening to all. Just before I start, last week, Twitter announced some of the key influential moments in India which happened in 2019. Anybody in the house want to guess what was the most influential moment in Twitter? So many Ajit fans. That's right. Viswasam topped the list of 2019 most influential moments. The numbers are not yet out, but then the number of tweets, the number of conversations on Twitter, it wasn't the general elections, it wasn't the Cricket World Cup or the IPL, it was Ajit Starter Viswasam which ruled Twitter. All right. Quickly, another trivia. Recently, a Tamil movie overtook Shah Rukh Khan's Zero to become the most liked trailer on YouTube. Any guesses? Thank you, guys. So Bigil went on to become the most liked YouTube trailer in India, crossing over 2 million likes. Right, so there's Viswasam and there's Bigil, there's conversations, likes, shares. So just want to talk about how the way success is determined. Of course, there are key business KPIs and objectives, but when it comes to engagement, when it comes to conversations, the way we determine success is very different, right? It's about who are talking about my product. Am I able to gauge what are the positive sentiments, what are the negative sentiments at the end of the campaign, or even during the campaign, am I able to make those changes? What's the kind of social currency am I able to create with this on the social media front, and am I able to get the reach? So these are some of the ways success is determined today when it comes to digital and engagement. So it's been about, as the MC said, it's been about a little over a decade that I've been on the digital side of the business. I've planned extensively. One question which a lot of marketers ask me, a lot of agency folks, creative guys ask me, with a 97% of penetration in Tamil Nadu market on television, do we really need another medium, right? Now let's just think about last night at the dinner table or while watching TV. Isn't this the kind of scenarios you see while you're watching television or while you're having your dinner with your family? There's always the second screen which you're always accessing with. And this kind of increases, especially when there are some marquee events like Big Boss or when there is a cricket match happening. Users want to participate. While they're watching television, there's a lot of cross-device conversations which keeps happening. Every time there is a Big Boss serial which happened, there'll be at least about 2 to 3 trends on Twitter trending. There's a lot of conversations. Right now, there is the first day and night test match in India happening. There's trending of that happening. So while you're watching television, while you're watching another content, there's always the second and a third screen which all of us are accessing today. So it's very, very important for marketers to fish where the fish are, and if it's television, look at TV plus reach, or if it's print, look at a print plus reach, because digital is everywhere today. Right, some numbers with respect to TN as a market, 47% of Tamil Nadu today is connected. 82 million mobile phones, which is roughly about 116% of teledensity, which means every user in India, every person in Tamil Nadu literally has a mobile phone. Number 3 when it comes to broadband connections, and the latest KPMG report says Tamil has the highest amount of adoption when it comes to internet users. Next is Kannada and Hindi. So Tamil internet users are literally one of the strong forefront when it comes to internet usage. 2016, Jio had launched, and it was very, very clear that there were not going to be any more media dark areas. And that's quite evident with the Tamil Nadu rural as well. 42% of rural Tamil Nadu is connected, and it stands at number 2 with respect to rural smartphone usage. Number 1 being Himachal Pradesh. 42% of rural Tamil Nadu is connected. There were certain discussions earlier. My fellow members were talking about Tier 2, Tier 3 towns in TN. Do we have an internet penetration? Definitely there is, and it's only growing. Very sadly, though, internet has really picked up. It's almost about 35–40% of India's population today. The gender split of pan-India, if you look at it, it's still 67% male and 33% female. But that number is completely different when it comes to Tamil Nadu. We are the most gender neutral ratio amongst all states. Close to about 40% of internet users in Tamil Nadu are women. When it comes to Chennai, it's about 44%. So we really, the internet users from the female gender is extremely high, and it's only growing here. So with all of these internet penetration, low-cost data, smartphone cost going extremely low, what we've also seen is everything in Indian media has changed. The way we consume content, the way distribution is happening, consumption. There's so much of discussion today which has happened in the OTT space. So online video is gone beyond YouTube. So there are, every television channel today has an OTT platform. Sony Live has launched that Tamil-only content on the OTT platform. So they're launching it for Telugu and Tamil. They've done that. Legalization of sports. So it's very clear when CSK takes on the field, we paint the entire nation yellow. But then there are new other leagues which have come in. There's Chennai and FC. Of course, we're not faring all that really good this season around. TNPL is a great example of grooming young talent. So there's a lot of leagues which have come in. Voice personal assistants. Just to give you some numbers, 28% of overall voice searches happens from India. So globally, all voice searches which happens, 28% happens from India. 135 million chatbot users, voice bot users in India. So voice is a very, very big platform, and it's very important. We spoke a lot about OTT, we spoke a lot about video, but voice is an extremely important platform that all us marketers have to be geared about. And of course, with internet penetration really growing up, Indic content has really picked up. Vikatan, which is the #1 Tamil news website, we stand about roughly about 6 million plus internet users today, with 40 plus percentage of female internet users. So let's look at some opportunities. So we've looked at the way internet has changed. Some opportunities, what's trending on YouTube. So again, another interesting number. Rowdy Baby happens to be the fastest 700 million views in India. Globally, it's around 102, and this is the fastest in India. It's taken about 300 plus days to reach that. Nayagi, which is the #1 television serial and also #1 on YouTube. Roughly about every episode on Nayagi on YouTube gets about 2 million views. So what's very important when we're doing a media plan? So it's very, very important that we look at media plan holistically. So look at it as a video platform. Don't just look television planning separately, or look at it as a video platform, because there's an incremental audiences, both from a reach and a frequency perspective. There's an incremental audiences who is consuming content in multiple screens. So it's just not a television story. It's also a TV plus story is what you need to look at. Just before this, Christopher brought in a point of the kind of influencers YouTube has. Of course, YouTube has created a lot of digital stars, and this is data which is given by YouTube that 44 out of the 300 channels with 1 million plus subscribers are Tamil channels. So you know we've got some excellent content creators sitting right there, and what they're bringing in a huge influencer content perspective, right? So today, media plans, especially on digital media plans, has changed. Display has taken a bit of a backseat. There's a lot of influencer opportunities which have come in. So these are certain opportunities with influencers that we get to partner with. And a lot of brands have actually partnered with this, creating deeper connect with audiences. Vishal from Vivek's actually spoke about the integration which we had done for Vivek's, where we got the protagonist of Nagi to actually experience, to get into Vivek's experience, and also bring out a point that it's much cheaper than the e-commerce portal. So, and this is another case study which we've done for WeCare, for Father's Day we've done. So these content are seamlessly integrated on the digital platform for brands. So there are multiple opportunities with a lot of influencers and digital-only content coming in. There are interesting opportunities for brands to explore. So there's branded content as an option. Another interesting opportunity with display, of course, display has taken a little bit of a backseat, but what we've seen, and this is another KPMG report which substantiates the 97% of Tamil-speaking internet users are more likely to respond to a Tamil ad, a digital ad in Tamil. So if I am on a Tamil platform consuming Tamil content, having an English ad to an English website is not really a great experience to give. It's very, very important that you give him a seamless experience. The user sees a banner in Tamil. The branded destination is also in Tamil. In fact, today a lot of brands have started creating websites and Indic content. Intel had come up with 6 Indic websites. TVS has 6, for every brand of theirs, they have 6 Indic websites. Synthol has recently launched a Tamil website. In fact, for brands who do not have a Tamil website, we extend, this is something which we have done for KAG, we extend partnerships, and because we bring in those expertise, we create Tamil destinations to give a seamless experience to the user. So display is very important. Targeted display is something which we create. Just going one step further, in fact, RP earlier this afternoon spoke about programmatic advertising. What we're doing, or what digital today is done, is it's moved away from impressions, it's going on to audiences, and it's moving on to individuals. If you have your own CRM database, you can start talking to individuals. So what is happening on digital today is a 25 to 34 female definition doesn't really exist the way we do on television, right? So if there is a brand and the brand wants to talk to mothers, now going and talking to a 25 to 34 will not really make us too much of a sense because there's a huge amount of spillover. What if we could give you this kind of a scenario where you could talk to exactly mothers on the platform? So we know the gender, we know where she is from, what is the current content she's been reading, what is her frequent content she's been reading. So I just don't know what's the current content, but also the kind of frequent site she's visiting, what's her household income, and multiple other data points. So digital can give you this. Vikatan has partnered with Lotomi to give audience understanding. So we could come back and tell you, because media budgets are shrinking, it's getting extremely focused. So instead of going to a 25 to 34 female, if there's hammam, we could go back and tell, instead of talking to the entire universe, you could just talk to females, or we could give a classification called digital mothers who are within this bucket. And what interesting insights we also can give as we go forward is at the end of the campaign. So I know her affinity is parenting, kids, education, and food, or her content which she's consuming is either movie reviews, Tamil Nadu politics, and television. At the end of a campaign or post-campaign, I can give that a 25 to 34 female has engaged with Hammam's communication very well on Tamil Nadu as a content and from education as an affinity, as a behavior. So while there are multiple behaviors, you could skew down to a funnel and you could actually create multiple combinations and further reach out to a very effective audiences as you planning further. So that's what programmatic does, that's what targeted display does. And with Lotomi on board, we are able to give this opportunity. So summing up, drive greater efficiencies by choosing targeted media options. We clearly see that one media option doesn't really makes good, because users are there in multiple platforms. So look at integrated offerings. There's a lot discussed about OTT as a platform, cinema as a platform. So every platform where we discussed, there's another medium which is clearly coming forward. So look at integrated options very strongly. There are many digital and tech interventions with the advent of artificial intelligence, voice bots. It's a very, very different game as we keep going forward. Data-driven planning is very important. How do you make use of your big data to smart data? How do you kind of use your CRM data more effectively to talk to that individual more smartly instead of talking to the entire universe? It's very important. The growth of video, Indic, and voice, that's a very, very big platform. Those are key trends, and those are trends which are going to remain for quite some time. So these are 3 major platforms. And of course, content consumption is going beyond the kind of urban spaces. There are multiple screens. Rural and influencers are definitely going to kind of drive this. So very important, look at digital, don't look at it as a standalone medium, look at it as a television plus medium, a video plus medium, or a print plus medium, or even at events there are opportunities to work with. So there are multiple opportunities. Tamil Nadu as a market has extremely strong digital penetration, and it's for marketers to just not think about 97% television penetration, but look at it as a whole and also look at digital as a medium. Thank you. Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Which one? Yeah. It's a data audience platform, that's right.
Using a data audience platform, you are able to really splice out the entire data and say that these are the kind of set of audiences that a particular communication can be micro-targeted, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, once after doing the micro-targeting, is the server also giving you the kind of what is the ROI or something like? Does it also give you data on how many people you have reached, but then does it lead to conversion?
Can you come again? Does it?
The communication has reached the set of audiences, but does it also reflect like what kind of ROI or what kind of response has come out of the communication?
Absolutely. So your data cuts, there are interesting data cuts which comes out in terms of income, in terms of interest, behaviors, and affinity. And that's how we segment audiences. And a post-campaign analysis says within these cuts, which are the cuts which worked really well. So I know if I'm looking at a digital mother, the general tendency is to go back behind, let's say parenting and education. But a data cut could give you a very different scenario that a digital mother who is interested in art has engaged most with the communication. So those kind of data cuts are available at a very large level, at a funnel down level, and a post-campaign level. So while you're planning deeper for the next campaign, you exactly get to know that you want to target not just digital moms, but digital moms who are interested in art. Of course, your numbers are going to reduce, but digital is always about who and not how many. That's what digital is all about. So it's very important that you go very targeted and talk to the right audiences so that there's zero spillover for your campaigns.
Going a step further, this is something about a post-campaign analysis. What happens, a brand is wanting to launch in a specific, let's speak about a hyper-targeted market, a small district. Through your server, you know the kind of audiences that are there in that particular market area.
Yeah.
So accordingly, a complete brand planning can be done. Even before you get onto the execution side, you can actually plan the whole, how the campaign needs to roll out is one. Second, you can also plan specific brands to be launched in a specific market also, right?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible. So you know, so that's the basic we would be able to do, because geo-targeting is something which we obviously do. One of the layers which we add on to the multiple targeting is one is geo-targeting is definitely what we do. There are multiple stuff. So for some of my clients, for my earlier organization, we do pressure tests to understand what really works, what doesn't really work, both in terms of markets, in terms of audiences, what really works, and what's the kind of scaling up do you need to do. It largely depends on objectives, and that's a possibility which can be done.
Thank you.